Welcome to our Nini SR channel.
Why did you put off my alarm? I shouted at Hunter as I kicked him. I quickly got up from my bed and sent a text to Nevin saying I will pick you up in 30 minutes. I took a bath and changed into sandal-colored shirt with white pants. As always, I put on a semi-ponytail and wear some gold metallic chain and tuck in my shirt as I pair it with my brown belt. After I got ready, I turned to see Hunter, who was sleeping on my bed as he hugged my pillow. Last night we both stayed up late talking about the things that were happening. I told him about Nevin and about magic. He makes me see colors. After 2 hours, he cried out and told me that he had been rejected by a girl. This was the first time I saw him crying for a girl. Actually, he's the crybaby among us, but this is the first time for his love. I can feel he loves her so much. After hours of crying, he finally slept as he held me. It's a good thing he wants to move on. Maybe this was my time to move on. I grabbed my phone and took a photo of Hunter and sent it to our group to inform them that our baby had been crying all night as they talked about his love. I laughed as I looked at the replays of Brigitta saying, "My poor baby. It's my revenge on him for the video of me and Nevin he took last night." He even sent them to the one he shouldn't have. Since I can't see other people with colors, Hunter always told me he was the one who's handsome in our group. In the past, I didn't trust him, but when I saw him in colors with the help of Nevin, he really looked good. I started to feel eager to see all my friends in colors. Maybe I should invite everyone here on my birthday, which is in 15 days. I went downstairs and went to the kitchen. I grab a bottle of juice and drink it while scrolling through the text which is sent by the person I hate the most. He has been calling and texting since he got a video of me and Nevin. He is the most possessive person I have ever seen in my whole life. I threw the empty bottle in the trash can and went to the garage and hopped on my black baby. I always treasure this black baby. I never let anyone ride my black baby because this was the last present from my hens. I drove toward to the 5th house and stopped in front of the house. As I honked 2 times, Nevin came out of his house. As always, he looks cool. He's wearing blue skinny jeans with a white button-up shirt. "You're blushing," he said after he hopped on and buckled his seatbelt as he looked at me. "Oh." I smile at him as I start driving. "So, where is Hunter?" he asks, looking at the road. "Han. He's sleeping," I said as I turned to see him still looking in front. "Sleeping? Oh, it might be jet lag," he said as he finally turned to see me. I shook my head and laughed as I said, "No. We didn't sleep last night. He never gets jet lag." Hunter was the type of person who could travel for 5 days without sleeping. And he didn't sleep a wink when we were all kidnapped. Nevin looked at me with a frown on his face and turned his face to look out of window. "Oh, someone has a misunderstanding." As we reached the restaurant, I reserved it for us. I parked my black baby. Yes, I always make reservations for us and book half of the place, after he says okay, hanging out. Because I don't want to be seen with him. I led him the way to the booth I reserved for us. After we sit and go through the menu, we both place our order. As we were waiting for our order, he kept looking around as if not wanting to make eye contact with me.
Here we both sat in the restaurant which is famous for dating couples, but I saw half of this place was empty. There were only 2 tables with couples, which were far from us. It's always like this whenever she takes me to a restaurant. Is she book half of this place for us? But, for what? Maybe I should stop looking around and focus on my miracle. I can't look at her eyes without thinking of last night. I don't why I am acting like a teenager. But here she was sitting in front of me looking so relaxed. As our food is served, we eat in silence. Are you okay? My miracle asked me as she broke the silence. I nodded my head as I looked at her with a smile on my face. As I looked at her, my mind went back to our kiss. I smiled at her once as I munched my food. She smiled back as she munched her food. She looks more beautiful than yesterday. I studied her face and looked at her outfit. I shocked myself when I saw something on her neck. Cough. Is that what I think? It's hickey. I gave her it yesterday. I self-facepalm myself as look at that small red hickey. No. No. Don't look at that. I told myself and started some random conversation with her like where she went to college. As our conversation goes on, I remember the phone call I had hours before I met my miracle. 4 hours before. Hello. I answered that unknown number. Nevin, someone replied from the other side. I don't know how everyone knows about me. Yes. Who's this? I replied after seconds later. It's me. Your father? What the fuck? My eyes widened as I held out my phone from my ears to cut the call. But I didn't do it. Yet. I replied to him, because I didn't know how to respond to him or what to say to him. I hate him the most in my life. I don't know why he called the person who he blames for my mother's death. How are you? He asks me after few seconds. Don't beat around the bushes, we both know there was a reason for your call, so just tell me what and get over it. I told him. Okay. Nick told me everything, so I called to warn you don't mess up with Hughes like your mother and your brother. Even though you're not in our business, just don't mess up anything. If there is any problem we have with our business, I won't think twice about cutting you off from our family. He said and cut off the call. I don't know what he means. I don't know what my mom did or my brother did. But I know I haven't done anything wrong. I don't see anything wrong with being in love with my miracle. Back to now. Nev, are you really sure you're okay? My miracle asked as pay bill for our food. Yeah. I trailed off and looked at her black card which she used to pay. Then shall we go to the supermarket? I need to buy something, she asks on our way to her car, parking in the parking lot. I nodded my head as I followed her. On our way she talks about Hunter and says he was dumped by a girl. I don't know who rejected him. But from what my miracle says, he loves her so much that it leads him to hurt a lot. We went to a supermarket, she pulled out her phone and looked at the list of things she needed to buy. So, I pushed the cart into the direction where she was walking. After a few minutes, she looks around as like she is searching for someone. Then she turns toward me, and she holds my arm as she walks through the aisle. She held my arm till she got everything she wanted. I don't know what she feels, but I really like this feeling of her hand on my arm. As we get ready to eat at the food aisle, I pick some food for myself with her things. Then she told me she was going to pick some vegetables because Hunter are good at cooking, so they need things for cooking. She talks about the food Hunter made for her that she likes and asks me about the dishes I can cook. I told her every dish I knew to cook as we reached the bill counter. Before she pulls out her card to pay, I pay with my card. She pouts and grumbled at me. I laughed at her as I carried our things that in 2 bags to her car. I place them on the back seats as I hop onto the passenger seats. As we reach our place, she stops in front of my house. I say bye and get my things from the back seat as I get out of her car. She hops off and walks with me toward my house, so I turn to look at her with a curious look. Did I forget something? She pouts and pulls out her hands in a grabby way. I don't know what got into me. I walked toward her and pulled her into me as lean in to kiss her deeply. After a few minutes of make-out, she pulls away from me and breathed heavily and gives one last peck on my cheek and say bye. Then she hops in her car and went to her house. After 5 days. I don't know. What does my miracle think of me? I don't know. What is going on between us? Am I just a fling? Or is she even like me? But I know I'm in love with her. Since Hunter came, she has had lunch out with me every day, and we had a kissing session in front of my house every day. We didn't do anything more than kiss, and we didn't talk about our kiss. So, today I'm going to ask about this.